Good morning, Mike Brady with Generosity Wealth Management, speaking to you from Boulder, Colorado. And today I'm here to answer the question, do people really walk in a circle when they're lost? Do they end up where they started when they're lost in a forest or just lost anywhere? And so there was this great article, and this is what actually prompted my thought for today's video, in Mental Floss, which is this great magazine, really interesting articles. I'm going to throw up on the video here the link to this article, but there was a scientist who put a bunch of volunteers in a Bavarian forest and a bunch of volunteers in the Tunisian desert. And basically they had GPS on their body, and so they could track what happened, whether or not they did go back into a circle. And the answer is every single person veered off course. They were told to go from point A to point B, and every single person veered off course. However, the degree to which they veered off depend on, frankly, whether or not they were able to have some vision. The people in the desert, when there was a moon out, were the straightest line people. They veered off a little bit, but they had it in their sights, and they were able to navigate by the moon. When there was not a moon, when it was overcast, they were much less accurate, and they did veer either left or right. Those in the forest, very similar, but what's interesting is when they were in the forest, more than half went back into a circle, right back where they started, but every single one, the degree varied depending on whether or not they had some sight in the future. If it was a cloudy night, they also went back and veered off, but just much slower. And what's really interesting is that when they had a blindfold on, the quickness with which they went back to the beginning was even faster. So really, it had to do with having a point in the future that you're going towards and being able to navigate and have other things around in order to keep you on that track. That's the way I read it, and it was a very interesting article in my opinion because it relates to what we're doing in our lives. We're at point A, that's today, and we need to determine where point B is. We might not know exactly where point B is, but seeking it out and identifying it and stating it, I think is really, really important. And this relates, of course, to our finances as well. Having a retirement plan, having a retirement analysis does not guarantee that that's going to happen. However, it's my opinion that it does give you something to go towards, and those that have that point in their mind and are tracking it consistently, perhaps every year or so, as you go towards your goal. You'll vary, of course, some, because we don't know what the future holds, but very less than someone who's completely blindfolded. And some people who are completely blindfolded absolutely make it to point B, but it might be more luck or happenstance than an actual plan of how they get there. So anyway, that's really kind of what I want to talk about today. Is I feel that so much emphasis is placed on this investment or that investment, which is important, don't get me wrong, but I also think that one of the best things that you can do for yourself, and one of the best things that I do for my clients, the dynamic value that I bring, is really identifying what it is that we want to do first and foremost, and then how are we going to get there, and reviewing it on a systematic, professional way. And I think it increases our odds of getting there. Does not guarantee it, unfortunately, but it does increase our odds of getting to where we want in the future. If you don't have that, if you're sitting here saying, gosh, I don't know what point B is, and talk with me. I'd be happy to try to help you out with that. That's I believe one of the dynamic values that I and my firm, Generosity Wealth Management, brings to the table. So anyway, hope you're having a good election week. Half of you are probably happy with the result, and the other half are not. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that in there as well. Mike Brady, Generosity Wealth Management, 303-747-6455. You have a wonderful week. Thank you. Bye-bye.